Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Also on the idea of the splitting realities and some of the challenges that individuals are facing right now, one idea that has come up over and over again is a very distinct difference in some people's perspective on uh, keeping other people safe during the pandemic through wearing masks and others who don't.
Yeah.
And the individuals that prefer to wear masks and prefer to help keep other people safe are they're having reactions to the people who don't hold that perspective, and their curiosity is, why do the people who don't want to wear masks keep showing up in the reality of the people who do want to?
Well, again, first and foremost, you always have to understand the actual reason why someone may choose to do what it is they're doing. Many people who choose not to wear the masks may not necessarily have a positive reason for doing so. Some might, but many do not, because many people are not aware of the belief systems that they're holding on to and don't necessarily realize that they may be making choices from a very self-centered negative position and not necessarily thinking that they're connected to anyone else's experience. But the idea really is that you're still going to see and attract into your life people for a while that may have polar opposite vibrational incompatibility with you, because that's simply the nature of what's going on your planet in terms of the splitting into different realities. But please remember that just because you can see them doesn't mean they can affect you. You are in your own reality, but still capable of looking through a glass wall that separates your reality from their reality. So just because you can see them making choices that you don't prefer doesn't mean they have any effect on you unless you go into the fear that they do. So the idea is to recognize that, again, you will observe alternate realities for quite some time to give you an opportunity to act as a living example, to give them other options and other choices that they could choose. But it's not necessary for them to choose those things just because you want to exist in a reality that prefers something different, because you are in a different reality with your different preference if you understand that there is a glass wall between you through which you can see them and they can see you, but you can't really affect each other unless you succumb to the vibration of their reality, and then you wind up on the other side of the wall in a reality you don't prefer to be in. So for now, you can shift back and forth, and it gives you an opportunity, if you prefer something more positive, to see the negative choices, to use them by comparison and contrast, to make it clearer by comparison and contrast what it is you do prefer, as opposed to the choices that others may be making that are not compatible with your preference. This will continue for a while, but in the years to come, you will see them less and less. They will see you less and less. We cannot determine specifically exactly when you will no longer see them as a group, but you may start to find that certain individuals will no longer be perceived in your reality as you go along. And perhaps no longer than about 20 to 30 of your years from now, you may find that you're existing in a reality that no longer perceives vibrational incompatibility of those individuals at all. But again, it will be different for different individuals, different groups, and for the collective whole as to exactly how that timing works out when you no longer perceive entirely the idea of other parallel realities that are vibrationally incompatible with the one you have chosen to participate in.
So, in being able to respect the idea that there is a glass wall between you and another individual that may have a different belief system,
Yes.
and simultaneously, if that person is insisting on thrusting themselves into your reality and, in a sense of endangering your safety, so to
But no,
speak.
no, 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 they're not. That's what we're saying. Just because you can see them, just because they keep manifesting and you're able to observe them, doesn't mean they're in your reality.
So if someone's walking by you and they cough and they have no covering on and they're potentially polluting your air, how does that relate to the glass wall, and how should you respond to that so that you're not saying, oh, that glass wall doesn't exist and I'm totally not safe, but at the same time respecting science and
Well,
physicalness of
again, you
this
have
experience.
just said it yourself. You have to understand that whether or not you succumb to the fear that they're going to affect you means you're on their side of the glass wall. But the idea also is to act as a living example. And sometimes that does sometimes require a communication, a conversation, to help them understand that maybe other ways to look at the situation in a more positive context of interconnectivity with all individuals. Because most of the individuals who have expressed the idea of not wearing the mask on your planet have expressed it as an intrusion into their rights. But the idea is that they're not understanding in the holistic connective sense that it is not really about them. It's about the idea of them carrying it to other individuals who don't necessarily have a say in their choices. So the idea is that when people understand that there are other people who may have belief systems within themselves that make them susceptible to the idea of the virus, it is the idea of them taking care of and looking out for other people in choosing to observe the conditions and the masks and the social distancing, because they are then acting as guardians of others who may not be aware that they may have belief systems that would make them more susceptible. So it's about going from a more self-centered perspective to an idea of a more global perspective of looking out for others. And by those having conversations and enlightening them in that way, they may decide to understand that it's not just about them, but it's about the whole community. And the idea, of course, is that you still have to allow them to choose what they're going to choose if they're going to hold on to belief systems that are more focused on themselves. And in understanding it and doing it that way, then you can understand that just having that conversation doesn't make you susceptible, and there's no need for anger. It's just a matter of education. It's just a matter of enlightenment. It's just a matter of providing a different perspective that gives them the opportunity to choose a different path. But you also have to understand that you can't insist that they do. Because if you are secure in the reality that you have created for yourself, then there is no anger or force necessary in getting them to change their mind, because you understand then that they are in a different reality and cannot really affect you. And those that then are susceptible to them have also chosen realities where they may choose to fear that they are susceptible to them, and you have to let it play out. So the idea is a balance point between the understandings of what is true for your reality, how you act as a living example to give others an opportunity to change into something more positive, but you also have to let it go when they choose not to, because it's none of your business what they do, because you don't know what their life path is and what it is they may need to experience in order to learn the lessons they need to learn.
So in a sense, it's created a heightened sense of recognizing the glass wall and recognizing the degree to which you honestly believe that you are, in a sense, on the other side of the glass wall.
Yes,
And
and
this is like,
the behavior that goes with that knowledge. Because if
and
someone approaches someone else in anger or fear, then that's a definition and an expression of the idea that you don't really know that you're on the other side of that glass wall.
and that's a big paradigm shift for us, the idea that you can be seeing things in your reality that are not what you prefer, and yet it's actually a separate reality. Maybe that wasn't an ability we had before, but
But you have
now.
that ability now, which is one of the reasons why we're explaining the structure of existence to you, because as we have said many times, understanding the actual structure of how existence works is what will give you the clarity and the ability to be able to operate in the reality you prefer, while still having some degree of observation and interaction with realities that you don't. So now it's time for you to wrap your minds around the idea and understanding of this structure, how things are created, and use it to your advantage instead of succumbing to the fear and therefore giving up the idea of your self-empowerment and where you know you truly stand.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate that new understanding because it can help a lot in observing the changes that our society is going through.
It can if people allow themselves to understand. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tadeo. Really enjoyed our communication. Hope
It is,
everyone else did too.
as always, our passion and our pleasure and our unconditional love to you all. And now, by all means, allow yourselves in whatever way, shape, or form works for you to become gently relaxed so that you may experience So, now you can become relaxed and let go of the cares of the day so that we may guide you now in a meditation to expand the probabilities of contact by introducing you to another situation in your neighborhood. Now, allow yourselves, with whatever images you produce and whatever music you produce, to simply let go, relax. Deep breathing will accompany this idea, and just open up to sensing the vibrations of the neighborhood. And we will take you in this meditation as you feel yourself letting go and relaxing, letting in those things we will share with you, to a space above your planet, between the orbit of the Earth and the orbit of the Moon, about 100,000, 150,000 miles above the Earth. There is a very large, multi-level, saucer-shaped station that stays there and has been there for quite some time, and will continue to be there for quite some time. This very large spaceship, space station, contains many different groups of extraterrestrial beings working together or using it as a way station to help them in their observations and studies of Earth. And so we want to let you know of the existence of this craft that contains many levels and many chambers in which many different ET races coexist, come and go, as a port, as a station, to aid and assist them in their endeavors, while they all keep watch upon Earth, observing whatever they observe with their own agendas, taking that information and sharing it. Sometimes humans have been taken to this station. So what we are suggesting that you do right now in this meditation, as you relax even further, is to allow yourself to imagine that you are being lifted off the Earth in any way, shape, or form you prefer to, either with just your body on a beam of light or in a spacecraft, doesn't matter, and allow yourself to rise above the Earth until the Earth appears to be about the size of a soccer ball. And then see before you this giant circular silver saucer with its multi-levels gleaming in the sunlight, hanging, floating in space. And allow yourself to see that you are entering one of the chambers, arrival chambers, and disembarking into this station. And imagine yourselves walking through the different sections, through the different levels, going up, going down, on different tubular access vehicles that you would call elevator tubes, but with no particular enclosure, just rising or going down through these transparent tubes to the different levels, or walking around on the different decks in the different chambers, some of which may include spaces in which to eat, spaces in which to sleep for those that require those things, some of which are scientific laboratories, educational facilities, control centers, which allow you a view of Earth, monitors that may contain views of other planets to which many of these beings belong. And it doesn't matter at this point whether you are accurate in your depiction of the many beings that are walking around on the deck near you, passing by you, going about their business. Imagine whatever forms of aliens you wish, both humanoid and not. It doesn't matter right now. This will become more specific at a later time. But right now, we are simply encouraging you in this meditation to focus on the idea of how it feels to be on such a craft, on such a station that exists above your Earth, with all of these different beings going about their business, some of them acknowledging you, some of them simply passing by, allowing you to feel, to know that this is going on in your neighborhood, that this way station exists in your neighborhood for a variety of purposes, and that it will still continue to exist in this place as you yourselves begin to develop more ability, more awareness, and more efficacy at creating your own spacecraft that use universal powers and universal laws, so that one day in your own craft you may dock with this station and come aboard as a species and partake of the various races and interact with the various beings that also utilize this United Nations or United Planets craft, if you wish to look at it that way, where different beings are welcome to go about their business and interact, so that you simply know that these beings are in your neighborhood. Allow yourself the opportunity now to just explore, pick up on whatever you're going to pick up on, see whatever it is your imagination allows you to see, learn whatever it is your imagination allows you to learn about what is going on in the various endeavors that these beings may be undertaking. Just explore. Just feel the energy of exploration, of observation, of study, of learning, of knowledge, of wisdom, and expand that to the cosmos. For in this craft is a vast library of information and knowledge of the cosmos. Not only your neighborhood, but well beyond into other neighborhoods, and even into other star systems and other galaxies. Allow yourself to know that this exists. The greatest library in your neighborhood is 100,000 miles above your planet, and you can access this anytime you wish in your imagination. Let synchronicity and higher mind be your guides on this journey. And anytime you think of this and extend your consciousness to this station, to this meeting point, to this melting pot, to this beautiful silver shining craft with its multiple layers and multiple chambers, with all of these beings going about their business of learning and expanding themselves and their knowledge of existence by observing all of you as well. Allow yourself to participate and become part of this unity. Allow yourself to feel that you can belong to this alliance. Allow yourself to simply feel the expansion of knowledge and awareness that is going on, that is contained in this craft. Immerse yourself in it. Revel in it. Wallow in it. And absorb it in whatever way, shape, or form is comfortable for you. And feel not only the individualness, the diversity, the incredible diversity of all of the beautiful differences of all the individuals and representatives of their own races and planets and stars and galaxies, but also the unity and the harmony within this craft, and the beauty of the orchestration of synchronicity that exists within its walls, floating beautifully in space. Allow yourself now to simply return to Earth, knowing that this is there for you anytime you wish to visit it in your imagination or out of body, in your astral form. It is there for you to participate in, to feel that you belong to, and to enjoy, because it is part of your neighborhood and will be here for you for many, many years to come. Allow yourself now to simply relax back into your environment of Earth, and now be able to see more clearly both perspectives of not only living on the surface of your world, but also seeing your world from that vantage point of that station, through the eyes of all of those races as they gaze upon you, as they observe you, as they learn from you, and expand their knowledge of the cosmos through you. See yourself in both places simultaneously, because you are. For many of you may have counterparts on that station, observing their counterparts on the surface of the earth. Feel the lines of connection and energy that anchor them to the earth and you to them. And allow yourself to walk upon the earth in your path with renewed understanding and feelings of connection that you belong to a vast neighborhood of many different kinds of diverse individuals who are all sharing similar purposes of expanding their awareness and their knowledge, and that you can participate in this expansion as well. Breathe it in and crystallize this relationship with you and them, and allow yourself to participate and feel the participation more and more every day from two different vantage points as you become more aware of more of yourself. Allow yourself to breathe gently and easily now. And in both locations, we extend to you our unconditional love and our welcome to your home. Welcome home. Welcome to the neighborhood. Welcome to the awareness of what is going on more and more around you that may have been heretofore invisible, but is becoming more visible every day. And we will help, along with others, guide you into more recognition and more awareness of the different beings and the different races that are interacting in your neighborhood with you, so that you can feel more connected to the galactic family to which you actually belong, and more aware and capable of expanding yourself to see from those more lofty perspectives, as well as from the earth, and as well as feeling and experiencing yourself as an extension of nature, not only of the earth, but of many different worlds and of the cosmos itself. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Our unconditional love and support to you all, and we bid you an exciting day of exploration, self-discovery, and play, and remind you all once again that the first step toward true enlightenment is to always lighten up on yourselves. Don't judge yourselves negatively. You don't deserve it. Don't take things too seriously. Relax and go with the flow, because your flow knows exactly where you need to go. Good day. All right, we will say good day. This transmission has been titled Your E.T. Neighbors, and it is for the purpose of delivering to you more information that will increase the probability of contact in the years to come by delivering information on different ET groups over a period of time, one or two groups at a time in these transmissions, to familiarize you with who is in the neighborhood, who's been interacting with Earth for quite some time, who will continue to interact with Earth in various ways. So again, it increases your sense of the reality of what's going on around you and give you a better, more grounded awareness of the neighborhood in which you live as a planet. So we will begin this particular delivery by talking about a group of extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional beings that have been referred to generally by many people on your planet that have interacted with them as the Blue Men. Now, these beings, the ones that are interacting with Earth, are fundamentally energy beings. They have the ability to take what appears to be human form, although they will mostly appear as an outline, a silhouette that is a glowing blue form, their features being relatively obscured because their true nature is energy. And in their quote-unquote natural state,
you would perceive them as blue floating orbs of light. But you can see them in many cases, when you do encounter them, changing back and forth between the orbs of light and the humanoid silhouette. They will generally appear to be relatively tall, perhaps 7, perhaps 8 feet in your counting. That's just a representation of the amount of energy coming through. Again, it's not that they actually have or possess this physical stature, but it is the way they are interpreted by your reality. It's the way they present themselves in your reality. Now, they come from a civilization that actually exists on 3 different planets in their area of space. Their original planet allowed them to create a civilization where many of the so-called scientists or researchers or explorers found a way to convert themselves and exist as energy beings. However, the majority of the civilization remained physical and went on to colonize 2 other planets as they spread out among the stars. So their civilization exists on 3 different worlds. They are exploring at this time a potential 4th world upon which to expand their civilization. But what we are saying is that their civilization exists in 2 fundamental forms. Truly, solidly physical, just as you are, and the ones that have learned to convert themselves into energy beings, which are the ones that are interacting with your planet at this time. The physical ones are not. But the ones that are interacting with your planet are doing so not only for the purpose of observation and study, as is true of many ET races who are interacting to some degree with Earth, but they also are quite compassionate, quite peaceful, and they have, shall we say, a tendency, when interacting with humans on your planet, to encourage those humans to change from a warlike civilization to a more peaceful civilization. They have even rescued people in wartime situations, removed them from the war. They have healed many people on your planet who were injured in war and from other causes. Because, again, they are energy beings, they can vibrate at a frequency that allows a person to match their frequency and allow rapid healing to occur. They will often observe warfare scenarios, and they even have the ability for people, sometimes, not always, depending upon their destiny, because the blue men will not interfere with your destinies, your choices, but they have from time to time, when it is appropriate, even removed humans from your planet and taken them to live on a planet where there is nothing but peace. Now, when they choose to do this, it is usually because a person has been gravely injured, perhaps even fatally injured, in some sort of wartime scenario. They have the ability to actually, in certain cases, resurrect these people, resuscitate these people, and allow them to be placed on one of these planets where they can experience a life of peace away from war. So the blue men, as they are called, generally, which doesn't mean there are not females among them, but this is how they present themselves and how they have been labeled by your people, because that's how they seem to appear, as a male silhouette, glowing blue, obscured features, very tall, very energetic, very kind, very compassionate, very peaceful. These beings are continuing to interact with your people from time to time, though they generally remain in the background, because again, they cannot really interfere with anything you have chosen to be your own destiny. But nevertheless, they will appear to those in need from time to time, to assist and aid them in either their healing or their removal to another place where they can experience lasting peace. And their energy on your planet gives you a greater opportunity to seek peace for yourselves by matching their frequency. Now, they have restricted themselves to some degree to the different kinds of individuals they may interact with. They may broaden their ability to interact with more of your population as the years progress. You will find in general that they will interact more often than not with the kind of people on your planet you call the indigenous groups, American Indians and so forth, because of their adherence to some of the old ways of relating to nature. Because again, they are very strongly connected to the idea of nature as the blue men. So in letting you know that they exist, you can open your minds, open your hearts, allow your energy to flow more freely, knowing that they are among you, whether you see them or not, and they are helping with their energy to give you more of an opportunity to choose peace and healing for yourselves, so that you may arrive at a time on your planet, or whatever version you shift to, that is more representative of peace and no longer or never has experienced the idea of war, strife, disease, struggle, and pain. So just open up to the idea of the blue men and see what happens energetically in your lives as you move forward. We will discuss another group during the meditation that will follow the monologue and questions this day of your time. But for now, we invite you to open up, to engage us with your questions, and allow us to be of continued service to you.
Thank you, Bashar, for being in this beautiful city of Sedona. Is your ship still over our city?
It is above Bell Rock, about 1,700 of your miles.
Great. And anything we can get from that being here for us? Anything that will add to our experience as souls?
Again, the idea of the height of the ship above Bell Rock, which is the center of the vortex in your area, will be a barometer for how your overall energy is doing. So it may raise, it may lower, it may adjust according to the different energies on your planet and the energies you bring into this particular vortex.
Okay, so we're doing okay right now. Huh?
You are doing okay.
Okay, the question I have about the subject you just raised is, how does the soul be affected in parallel universes, future lives, all that? Are those all aspects of the soul's experience, even though they're not happening in this physical reality?
You are now talking about the oversoul's experience, which you can consider, in a sense, from your perspective, a collection of individual souls. So different souls have different experiences in different realities, but they all connect back to what you may call the oversoul. So it depends on what level you're talking from when you ask a question like that. And when you say, am I this or am I that? It depends on whether you're talking as a physical mind, the soul, the higher mind, or the oversoul.
So a soul that we are essentially is experiencing only this reality, are you saying that? Or are we experiencing...
Yes, okay. Each reality has its own soul.
Oh, okay. All right, is there a way to access, or we don't need to access other realities if we're right here?
You are accessing other realities all the time because there is a connection between all the souls in the oversoul, as I said. And therefore, by raising your frequency, you make yourself more receptive to higher frequency and other dimensional energies and information. So yes, you're downloading all the time. You may not know it. Sometimes you may have an inspiration. You may have an idea. You don't know exactly where that came from. It may be coming from a parallel reality. It may be coming from the blueprint you laid out for this physical life experience, this dream. It may be coming from source. It may be coming from your higher mind. It may be coming from your spirit guides. You are connected to a number of different things. It's a dynamic
active exchange of information and experience going on all the time. You are tapping into parallel realities constantly to create what appears to be a single timeline, but it's not.
Thank you. Do you have an update on when first contact might be taking place?
No.
No. You did say 2027 and 2027.
I said that at the end of 26 and the beginning of 27, there may be an event
Yes.
that will start to turn things around in that direction. I am not telling you why that event will happen.
So that event is still on schedule.
At the moment, it is more than 90% probable.
We'll be waiting. Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Okay.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
This is such a dream come true. I have such a crush on you. I tell everybody you're my boyfriend. I went to Bell Rock yesterday. I wonder if you saw me.
I was too busy being crushed on.
My first question is, when I meditate, I feel like there's thousands of beings watching me.
Yes.
Why are they watching?
They are connecting into the vibration that you are giving off because your meditation allows you to tap into different things. Some of the things that are quote unquote watching you or that allow you to feel like you're being watched are simply alternate versions of yourself that may be in parallel realities, meditating at the same time and tapping into you, as well as others. Sometimes there are other beings, and sometimes, of course, there are spirit guides who may be aware of what you're doing and helping guide you in that state. So the attention can be coming from many different sources. And it's one way of realizing that you're connected to everything.
Wow, that's wonderful.
If you say so.
So my second question is, I'm always curious of how did Jesus cast out a demon and send it to pigs?
The idea of casting out demons is simply providing a vibrational state that is representative of a higher level in which negativity and fear-based beliefs cannot exist. And therefore, if the person matches that frequency, they're willing to do that. They will elevate themselves beyond that negative vibrational realm and simply experience a reclamation of their true self. That is the idea of casting out demons. Nothing can inhabit you. There is no such thing as possession. You fill yourself entirely. There's no room inside you for anything else but you. So the idea of possession is simply that there are belief systems within the physical mind, for one reason or another, that have decided to match a lower vibration, to mirror it, to reflect the idea, and therefore present a representation of it out of their own energy. Because everything you feel is your own energy. You can't experience someone else's energy. You can match it, you can mirror it, you can receive the offer to match a lower or higher frequency, and whatever it is you accept, whatever it is you decide to mirror, is what you will experience. You will become a representation of that, a symbol of that. But it's your own energy that you're experiencing. So in a sense, you possess yourself.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? Do you understand?
Yes. I
Does
love
that help
you.
you?
Yes, it helps a lot.
All right.
I'd just like to kindly ask the questionnaires just to ask one question, please. 2.
Yes?
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Yes, je m'appelle Jeanne Victoria Celestin. I go by my middle name, Victoria. I wanted to say a quick happy birthday, Mom. Jessie Celestin. Her birthday's on March 12th.
All right.
My question is...
Speak up, speak up.
Sure. My question is, what can you share with us about the feminine energy rising on the earth at this time?
Well, it's about time, isn't it? It's all about balance, yes? Because souls are everything and nothing. They contain all the ideas of all possible genders, and therefore the idea on your planet at this time, when dealing with polarity, is to balance the idea of anything that represents polarity, one side and the other, to work together in harmony, in equality, and to be able to be balanced beings containing both energies in the ways that are appropriate for every single being to express. So, this is the rise and the taking back of self-empowerment of those who have given it away or been forced to give it away by ideas that do not serve in a positive sense, and therefore raising that vibration, being self-empowered, and then promoting the idea of balance in every being is what this age is all about. It's about the age of choosing, of making choices that are more balanced, more representative of your spirit self. Yes?
Yes.
But?
I will speak about myself personally. I've had several surgeries, and one surgery was a diastasis recti repair. And I have had numbness in my solar plexus area for since probably 2018.
Yes.
And so I wonder about my ability to tap in, tune in to the rising, balancing feminine energy.
You're questioning your ability to tap in?
Yeah, because I don't feel. So many times people say rise something in your solar plexus, which is often considered like a creative energy, feminine.
Are you saying that you don't have a physical sensation?
I don't have a physical sensation.
But you do have an imagination, yes?
Yes, I do. I just don't know how to imagine.
Can you
the physical.
imagine the energy rising? Can you imagine the energy balancing? Yes, no,
Would
maybe?
That, like I said, yes. Would it bypass, like a heart bypass or something?
Yes.
The fact that I can't, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that helps.
However it is that you are capable of rendering that concept within your consciousness will work.
Okay. Yeah. Very
In
good.
fact, you probably gave yourself this opportunity in order to force yourself to do it in another way.
Interesting. Okay.
In a way that involves more of your spirit self.
I figured it was a permission slip of some kind, so okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Bashar.
You are very welcome.
Good day.
And to you, good day.
First, I just want to thank you. I've been listening to you for like 12 years, and my life, I've grown so much because of your wisdom. And
You have grown so much because you applied wisdom.
yes,
We're happy to share, but nothing happens unless you apply.
absolutely. So my first question is about this call that I had on New Year's Eve to go to Bell Rock, and I sat there and I saw a hybrid being. Was that an Asasani?
Well, we will say it was a hybrid. We will confirm that. We will not necessarily say which place it came from.
Okay. It was showing me the Trinity and how that represents my oversoul.
Trinity represents the entirety of existence as you know it, because it is, again, positive, negative, and neutral in the center.
Okay.
So things are not a polarity. Everything is a Trinity.
Would you elaborate on how the Trinity reflects the oversoul?
As we said, you have an oversoul that is multidimensional in nature. And from one aspect, you could say it contains many souls, or it's made up of a collection of souls. The way you can look at it from your particular perspective is that it exists multidimensionally, which means it occupies an X, Y, and Z axis. So the triple axis, the Trinity, is what it needs as a structure to exist from your perspective. Then when you get down to the soul level, now it goes into the idea that just one plane out of that is the soul level that's connected to other souls and parallel realities, but only in a plane that's relevant for the focus of that soul. And then when you get down into physical reality, now you have just a line, a single line, a linear expression of the soul connecting through the idea of space and time in a linear way two different successive versions of itself using parallel realities just along the z-axis. So the soul is the x and y, or x and z. The oversoul is the x, y, z. So you have the full trinity in the oversoul. You have just the idea of the polarity expression in the soul, and you have the idea of just a linear expression that can be exclusive one way or the other by its choice in physical terms. Does that make sense? Do you understand this?
I'm gonna re-listen to that on a recording, to be honest. I'm like, yes, it will make sense to me.
All right.
So the next question I have, this one's a little personal, so I'm
They're all
gonna have
personal.
to step into some bravery here. In 2020, I had an encounter on a missionary trip with the Pleiadians.
Please speak up.
Yes. So on this encounter I was in Minnesota, and to my surprise, I came across some Sasquatch beings, and they had gifted me with the divine genome. And the next day, everything was so much more clear, and it was spreading through the whole of humanity, through the eyes. And my question is, how has that affected us all?
The idea of Sasquatch is what you would all be without ET genetic interference.
Yes.
Do you understand? Many hundreds of thousands of years ago, your early hominid ancestors were genetically altered by an extraterrestrial race that you refer to as the Anu.
Yes.
The branches of those hominids that naturally evolved on Earth evolved into Sasquatch. So if the genetic alteration had not occurred, you would all be Sasquatch today.
So with this divine genome that was shared, how does that affect us today?
It affects you by allowing yourself to know that you will still contain the genome and share it with your cousins, the Sasquatch, the Yeti, the Bigfoot, as you say. You share it, and in time, you'll be able to come together and share information and experience as they have learned to what we call slipwalk between one phase of physical reality and another, which is why they are so elusive.
Yes.
Why they can vanish from your sight, because they can change their phase, change their vibration, slipwalk into a different level of physical reality. So eventually you will learn from them. They will be your teachers of a certain way of understanding your relationship to the different layers and levels of physical reality that wrap your world like onion skin.
Onion skin. Peeling away the layers. So, that's all. Okay.
Thank you.